Hey everybody, welcome back to CineFlex. My name is Manny.
I'm Juan.
And today we're going to be discussing Doctor Sleep. So we're going to do full-on spoiler talk. So this is a
Warning.
spoiler warning. So for a 2-hour and 30-minute movie, what did you think about it as far as pacing goes? We'll talk about the pacing first. Because this is a long movie.
I thought it was fun. I liked that it was long.
You liked that it was long?
Yeah.
I do think that if anyone ever said anything about the first part, because the first part of the movie, before coming into the movie, having read the book, I was like, oh, it's gonna be I don't know why it was 2 hours and 30 minutes, but then once the movie got started, I was like, oh yeah, there's a bunch of moving parts that needs to happen. There's a lot of characters in certain places. You have to when they showed
Set them up.
Yeah, there was a lot of setup because you need a little bit of backstory, and there's four things going on that you need a little bit of backstory for. So we get Ewan McGregor when he was as a kid and as Danny Torrance, and I didn't expect it. I mean, I didn't think that they were going to show him as a kid, but I didn't expect they were going to show the actors from they had the actors from playing what Shelley Duvall did. And
they had other actors.
Yeah, it had and Wendy Torrance, which was fine. I thought it was perfect. They sounded the same. Not that they did it an impression, but it just worked. It worked for me. At first, it caught me off guard. I was like, "Oh, I didn't know they were doing this."
Yeah, I didn't know either. The mom, when she started talking out, I was like, "Damn, she sounds excited."
Yeah, she sounds exactly
I don't know if did they do the voice?
They probably did. I think I don't know. I'm sure the actress did the voice. Yeah, in today's age, when there's a lot of CGI and de-aging and stuff like that, you would think that they would do that, but I figured the budget wasn't in it for that, so they just decided, you know what, let's just hire new actors and do that. Yeah. Which worked for as Wendy, and it worked for Dick Hallorann, and then we'll get into Jack Torrance a little bit later. But yeah, we get a setup with Danny Torrance, and he learns how to pretty much because the ghosts of the Overlook Hotel coming back and they stay haunting him, and then he gets a visit from Dick Hallorann. Yeah, Dick Hallorann he dies in The Shining, so it's safe to say that he's dead here, because when he's talking on the bench to him, he's not there. Yeah. Well, I guess they always establish that they can talk to each other with their minds. But yeah, I was
thinking, because when I saw him, I was like, didn't he? I couldn't remember if he had died or not.
Yeah, he was dead. He gets stabbed with the axe. Yeah. I think he's the only person. Yeah, he's the only person that Jack kills. So yeah, once we get that established with Danny, and he learns from Dick Hallorann that these ghosts, you can keep them in your mind locked up in a box. I thought the way they handled that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Especially when he goes into the bathroom and he's not worried about it, not scared, and he just closes the door.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we get the Doctor Sleep. Is that when the title card comes in?
Yeah, I think after that.
We forgot about the opening where the opening scene was not that. The opening scene was with the little girl. And we get introduced to the True Knot, which is the group of vampires. They're vampires. They're vampires going out, and because they have to how vampires go out and they need blood. These group of individuals with the True Knot, called the True Knot, they go out and they suck the soul, or they suck the steam of people who shine,
which is their soul, basically.
Yeah, I guess it's pretty much their soul. It's just something that these people who have to shine let out.
I figured that it was something everybody has. It's just the people with the shining have more of it. Yeah,
you're right. I don't want to compare a lot of stuff from the books to the book to the movie, but one thing from the book that they mention 9/11 in the book with Abra with Abra Stone. So I was used to, I don't know why, when I was reading the book, I always said in my head Abra, but it's Abra, like an abracadabra, right? But yeah, Abra, when she's a young girl, she kind of predicts 9/11, and she feels everything from 9/11 happening. So, but in the book, there's a bunch of steam everywhere during 9/11, and the True Knot's there. And they're just just getting a free for all from all the steam. But so maybe everyone does let off a little steam, but I'm sure.
I figured it was that because when what's his name?
Because
when Danny, name, right? When he's in the hospital and he sees the first guy die, he lets out some steam.
Yes, yeah. So everybody has a little bit of steam, especially it's established with That's what I like about this movie. They give a lot of lore to the Shining and a lot of like backstory that the first movie didn't pretty much have, except with Dick Halloran. But it's like established that like mothers have a little bit of the shine. All mothers have it because of their intuition with their kids or whatever. So I forgot which book. I don't know if that was in The Shining or in another Stephen King book, but I know that was mentioned at one point. But yeah, we get just the Chuna, which Rebecca Ferguson pretty much kills it. I really loved her character. I loved the way she looked, the way she acted. It was menacing and terrifying. So I was really happy with her. And then we get Ewan McGregor. Oh, then we get introduced to Abra, and we see her that she has a little bit of the shine too. But she makes those spoons stuck on the ceiling, like, so she's a little bit more of the shine. She has a little bit of like TK, I guess, of telekinesis.
Yeah.
Which now that I think about it, yeah, because it's a little bit more telekinesis with the shine. I'm sure the other girl that we get introduced to, Snakebite Andy, she has what they call the push, and with the push,
to convince people.
Yeah, I don't know if she can talk to someone's with her mind, but she just has like the ability to just influence people, right? So it's not necessarily everybody who shines, but like everybody who has that sort of power.
Does that imply that there's like levels to it, or is it just different abilities?
It's just different abilities, and people who have abilities, I guess they have this theme, but we get like people who like shine a little bit, like Dick Halloran, and then we get someone Danny, who was more powerful than him at shining, and then I'm sure Abra has the shine and telekinesis. So do
you think Danny's ability was to go into somebody's body?
Maybe he's just
because that one guy. The bad guy, I forgot his name.
Crow Daddy?
He's like, I've never seen before. I've never seen that before.
Going into another person's body? Yeah. From that? Oh, when they're talking in the car.
They're talking in the car.
Yeah, I guess. He just has very powerful intuition going into someone's mind. From 100% from the backstory, I don't know. I'm not 100% sure, but it looks like from this movie that, yeah, he can do that. He can enter someone's mind. I guess that's how he eases people into dying. When he pretty much gets inside their mind in the hospice when he's working there. Yeah. So I like how they showed how Ewan McGregor, growing up Danny Torrance, has he's dived into alcoholism just like his father did, and he's pretty much in a rut. Like they explain how he keeps drinking because that's what keeps the shine away. So the more he drinks, the more the less he has it, the less it's working. So that's why he keeps drinking. I don't know if they established that. I think he might have mentioned it once when they were in AA. He's like, I kept drinking because it pretty much shut my. He didn't say it bluntly, but he said that it implied it. Yeah.
I liked all that beginning of him struggling so much.
Yeah.
And then in one part, in the beginning, when he sees that he's with that one girl. And then later on, he sees her.
Oh yeah,
and she's dead.
Yeah, the baby.
I was wondering when he's with her, and she's just laying there. I don't know why I got the thought what if she's dead? Because they were doing coke or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, what if she's dead? And then later on, it shows that she actually did die.
She died.
That actually happened, right?
Yeah, they're dead.
They died.
Yeah, that's what the baby's no one's found us. We've been dead for I don't know how long. Which is weird because he didn't really they didn't show that he thought anything of that. He didn't go into reacting to that. It just showed that. So I don't know if a lot of the audience.
One thing that threw me off was that, but because at first I was like, why? But then I was like, oh, I guess it works. Is the 8 years later part? When I was 8 years later.
Oh yeah, 8 years later. Yeah. So I guess for the first part of the movie, I guess it was the first. I don't know. I don't know time frame, but. It's pretty much just showing where everybody's at, who the True Knot is, what do they do, where they're at, and then we get Snakebite that they pretty much they don't necessarily go after everybody. They can recruit people too. Then we show Abra, and then we have Danny, and then we get 8 years later. I guess just to establish, because once Danny works at the hospice, he's there for a while, and I guess with Abra. She's how old she was in the first?
I don't know.
In the first, I don't know. I forgot how old her birthday, what birthday party it was. But yeah, I think she's 3. Yeah, so she's 12, 13. Once 8 years later passed. So I guess.
She's like 5.
So I guess I don't
5?
know. Yeah, I guess so.
Maybe she was fine.
So I don't know why they would do 8 years later, but they just wanted to establish that where everybody was, and then from then on, where do they go from there? I guess. Like, so 8 years later, we have Danny Torrance working at the hospice. He's like, life is good. He's like into
He's doing better now.
Yeah, he's a lot better. He's he's drinking less, so he's found his purpose with having the shine at this point of his life with the cat, as he's showing him who's gonna die next, and then he just pretty much eases them into the next world.
I like how that's why he's called Doctor Sleep.
Yeah,
I didn't know before that.
yeah. I mean, yeah, exactly. Yeah, Doctor Sleep is a strange title. Like, and people, I'm sure a lot of people didn't know that it was like the Shining sequel. But yeah, then we have the True Knot, and the True Knot's kind of they're getting weaker. They're running on less supply of the steam, because they pretty much take out the steam. They get what they want there, and then they save the rest. They meal prep.
At one point. Yeah, they say that at one point that there's less of it and it's less strong. Is there a reason for that? Like in the world?
I don't know. I guess they do imply that there's a lot more people like them out in the world. So maybe, and I don't know how much connected they were saying that with what's with any of his other Stephen King works. Because if it is, there's plenty of explanation of why. Because there's not just the True Knot. There's other people that are searching for these kind of people as well. To like use them or whatever, kind of like X-Men and mutants. People like, want to like keep them in prison and stuff. One of the best scenes in the movie that really shows that the True Knot is pretty much menacing is when they actually kidnap that kid. I forgot this kid's name.
Oh yeah.
Yes, the baseball
Number
player
19.
who wears number 19. I'm bad with like remembering
They just
names.
call him Baseball Boy.
Yeah, okay, the baseball boy.
I don't think they mentioned his name.
Yeah, that was a tough scene to watch, because it's a kid and you feel bad and it's unsettling and it's disturbing, but they did a good job at. I mean, it's a freaking horror movie, so they had that aspect in there.
I kept thinking like, where did I see this kid before? And he's from Bad Boys.
Good Boys.
Good Boys.
Yeah, he's from Good Boys. I read that. So yeah, that kid did pretty much a tremendous job of making that he was suffering, convincing that he was suffering, and yeah, with him, and then once Abra's able to feel what's happening to him, that's pretty powerful, and then throughout this, you know what's weird that they didn't. I guess Abra was just using her shine, and for some reason she like finds a connection with Danny. It's kind of like a little random, not random, and I guess because they didn't say why they connected. Yeah, she just like channeling out, and then
That's what I heard.
because all of a sudden she like writes hello on the blackboard, right? And then he's like, oh, who the fuck is this? And then he's like, hi, back. And then they after 8 years they're talking. Did they show
the thing with the boy happens after the?
Yeah, it happens after. Yeah, so within.
I don't remember. I don't think.
They didn't explain that in the movie, right? I'm just going off the movie. I don't want to like bring in information that it would explain it. So if it wasn't explained in the movie, then it wasn't explained.
No, I don't think they did.
Okay.
But I think I know why, because I heard it from the book.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, we'll just judge it based
in
on
the movie. I don't think they said anything.
Yeah, so after the True Knot gets the little boy from there on, Abra's like, something of his boy's been murdered. We have to like find them or whatever. Yeah. So she gets in touch with Danny, and Danny convinces his friend Billy to drive him up and find the glove, because once she touches the glove, then she can like pretty much see where they're going, because she mentioned that one of the True Knot held the glove, right? Yeah.
That he put it on.
Yeah, he put it on. So now he's connected to the glove. I think it was this guy Barry. So now he's connected to the glove. So once she touches it, she gets in connection with him. Did they show that she was like in his body, or she was able to see right where they're going?
Yeah, she was in the van, so she could see everybody.
One thing I wanted to mention, the Crow Daddy I thought he was a pretty cool character. I mean, he didn't have like much of a big role, but then I just thought that he had like good chemistry with Rebecca Ferguson, and I just thought like, yeah, he seemed.
Yeah.
It's just like a good character overall. So now with the True Knot being pretty much not attacked, but like pretty much being followed, they set up this plan and they get tricked. But anyways, it all ends up with them back at the Overlook Hotel, right? And this is where like a lot of people have like complaints in the movie, not complaints, but like because it's kind of like, okay, we have to, because here's the hard part of the movie was to make a sequel to the movie and make a sequel to the book, because there's like a lot of differences from the movie The Shining and the book Shining, so he had to like pretty much not like satisfy both but cater to kind of both. Like he can't, there's a book based off, there's a sequel of the book based off the original book, and he wants to make a sequel to that, but the original movie is also a sequel to, this is also a sequel to the original movie, so yeah, it was kind of hard. But then once we get to the Overlook Hotel, we kind of see that he kind of did some reshooting of the original movie. You see some like certain scenes, like the blood, the twins and stuff like that. I thought it was, which I thought, I mean, it worked, but it now it feels like we're back in like in the first movie. We're not, it's not in its own movie. It's kind of like feeding off the first movie.
I guess I see what you mean, but I thought they were gonna go through this like the hotel as they're like fighting against each other, and it like they kind of do, but not really. Like they only like come together in one place, and that's basically where everything happens.
Right. Yeah.
I thought they were gonna be like going through the
hotel, and then
because
as they were fighting.
Yeah, I thought originally when he got there, I was thinking he was gonna release the whatever.
I think that was his plan.
I thought he was gonna release them into the thing and then go through.
Yeah, but I think that was too dangerous only because, I mean, that's why they didn't want Abra there and to get inside the hotel because of that reason. And if he was gonna open those boxes, or I guess no, the original plan was for her to enter his mind, and so she can get her inside the box.
Up, which would that lock just her mind up, and her body would just drop?
I don't know. That's a good question. I wonder what would happen because she's not technically a ghost. Yeah. She's pretty much an actual. I think
that's basically what would like her mind would have been locked up.
Yeah, her mind would have been locked up, and I guess, but then he would have been stuck with her the whole time. And how long could he hold that in there, right?
I guess.
But yeah, so they fight. I mean, the only thing was Rebecca Ferguson could have picked up, like, brought in more of a fight. I thought a little bit more.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, she was like kind of.
That's why I figured like they were gonna fight her throughout. Like
just a little bit more of a challenge for them. I mean, it was fine. I mean, she was menacing, but they didn't really like show how powerful she was, in regards to when she was fighting them. Because that a little bit more of a conflict right there would have been fine. I mean, once Danny is like almost like dying, that's when he opens the boxes and stuff, and releases all the ghosts. If he would open the boxes outside the hotel, I wonder if they would be out roaming and if they would still get her.
Out there.
But I think because of their, I don't think that would have happened too. Because I guess because they're a part of the hotel, then that's when anybody can see them if he like just brought them out.
Okay. Yeah. I just like you said, I just thought she was gonna fight them more.
Yeah.
Than what actually happened. And I thought, like, I guess I mostly wanted to see more interaction with the house stuff.
Yeah. Oh, you wanted to see more interaction with the house stuff? I thought the scene with him and Jack Torrance, his father, that was. I mean, the actor was. I mean, he did his. I mean, obviously, it's hard. Jack Nicholson, right? Especially.
He's the one that kind of looked the least.
Yeah, the least, and then it's hard to do the voice.
Yeah.
Maybe they would have just fixed his eyebrows a little bit more, because
I thought it was the hair one thing that was because he was more bald than.
He was more bald?
Was.
I don't know. Jack Nicholson was pretty balding at that point already.
But not like...
Not a lot.
I feel like it was more... I don't remember.
But I did like that Jack Nicholson now turns into the bartender because that's kind of like of the lore of the first movie, that he was always the caretaker and stuff like that. So now he's the bartender in the Overlook Hotel because he died there.
Yeah. But was it supposed to just be... Because it's not really him, right?
It's not. No, it's a house. Yeah, it's his like spirit, and now he's like stuck there. Yeah, it's like a possessed version of his spirit there. So I did like that. That was see that, and then that's the sequel to The Shining. That's like nothing from the book.
Yeah.
Although he does come out, Jack Nicholson. I mean, he does come out in the book. And I did like how. Okay, wait. Danny does die in the movie. He doesn't die in the book, but I like how when he dies in the movie, like he gets possessed, but like. Abra's like, you know what, like he still brings out Danny, like he's still in there, showing that the hotel is what's evil about him. Like it's the hotel that's pretty much the evil entity, and that Danny was still in there. He just like, so he doesn't pretty much die a bad guy,
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? That's like kind of what happened with Jack Nicholson. It was hard to just like show that there was the hotel that was the entity in The Shining. It kind of felt like Jack Nicholson was already
that
crazy.
He went crazy, and
Yeah,
I get you.
I see what you mean. Yeah. So yeah, then once that happens, yeah, then he does die, and the Overlook Hotel does explode because of the furnace or the boiler room, and yeah, do we get a time lapse again? So yeah, once the Overlook Hotel is pretty much burned and Abra's pretty much home safe. They didn't show a time lapse, but they did show how like they did show Danny there in her room, and they're talking, and he pretty much, I like how he says that there's a lot of people out there that shine, but people just need to take like a stand and just keep shining on. He says, right?
Like not to hide it anymore.
Yeah. Well, yeah, not to hide it, but I'm sure there's always gonna be bad people. I don't know if that's what he was saying. I don't know. It kind of set it up for like the possibility of like if there could be another movie or like a spin-off or something. Like I mean that there is that opening.
I mean, technically, I mean I guess in a way she could like train it, right?
Train what?
Her gift to get stronger.
Yeah, well I guess so. But I guess with old age, like I know Rose the Hat said that with age, like it kind of deteriorates.
Oh.
I think that's what she mentioned with Danny Torrance. That's why he was. Well, maybe it was because of the alcohol.
That's why they kill kids.
Yeah, they kill kids because when you're a kid, that's when it's like the most.
She says that
the strongest.
As you age, it not deteriorates. It like gets tainted or something.
Oh, okay, like polluted.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. Well, I guess. Well, for him, I don't know if the alcohol had anything to do with it. Because if it's the alcohol suppresses it, then I'm sure it pollutes it as well or damages it. But overall, yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I thought it was a good sequel to the book, both the movie and the book. I didn't know I didn't do that well in the box office this weekend. And then I don't know if it's because a lot of people didn't know it was the sequel to The Shining. I bet if they marketed better on that, maybe it would have made a lot more money.
Yeah.
But either way, I hope it actually does do well because I hopefully with this director, because if it does well, then I'm still gonna give this more freeway for this director to do other kinds of adaptations, and I hope he does do another or more Stephen King adaptations. He was the same one who did the Haunting on Hill House, so that's his. I know you watched that.
Yeah, it was cool.
It was cool. Either way, I totally recommend this movie if you're a fan of horror, you're a fan of The Shining. You wouldn't technically, I guess you would. I would say watch the Shining before you watch this movie. Yeah. You would get more appreciation, and there's you would get just a tons more appreciation for this movie. You'd understand it a little bit better. Although it does have its own storyline, and they explain it well. But towards the beginning of the movie and the end, then you would appreciate it more if you saw The Shining. The good chunk of the middle, then it's his own story. You don't really need The Shining for that. Because the middle chunk is its own movie. But either way, go ahead and watch The Shining. Go ahead and watch Doctor Sleep. Let us know when you thought about it in the comments below. If you were a fan of the book, let us know what you thought about the adaptation.